Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Early Parenting Podcast. Today I'll be talking to you about understanding normal toddler eating habits, which in turn is hopefully going to help to take the bit of the pressure off that the toddler eating habits can have on parents. So listen on to find out more. Welcome to the Early Parenting Podcast, where we help you navigate the somewhat tricky world of parenthood so you can love the crap out of being a mama. I'm your host, Jen Butler, and I'm an early parenting consultant and a mama of two busy boys. Join me as I explore all things early parenting and deliver them to you in toddler-friendly, bite-sized lessons. Because let's be honest, your toddler is probably smothering pseudo cream on the wall as we speak. I'll be dropping my hottest tips on baby and toddler sleep, feeding, boobs, behaviour, and so much more. Are you ready to feel confident in motherhood? Let's dive in. Okay, so the first area I want to talk about is what to expect around the difference that toddlers have in eating patterns compared to us. So some days your toddler may seem like they can't get enough food and are constantly telling you how hungry they are. The next day, they may have barely touched a bite. The rhythms of eating can look very different to ours as adults, and this often causes us a lot of stress. It may be good for you to keep track of food intake over a whole week rather than day to day to really gauge how your toddler is going. Periods of growth spurts and of rapid brain development will often see more food consumed, so keep an eye out for these patterns in your toddler. So the next point, after around 12 months of age, growth slows dramatically. So this means energy needs to slow down too. Food is energy, so toddlers will soon start to need less fuel as their growth reduces. Like I mentioned in the last point, depending on what's going on with your toddler's health and development will change the way they eat. No 2 days are ever the same in the world of a toddler. You need to trust that given your toddler is only putting on around 100 to 200 grams in a whole month, as opposed to the 100 to 200 grams that they put on per week in their first year of life, that their energy needs actually need to drop to prevent an overconsumption of food. So another point to consider is that grazing counts too. Some toddlers will graze all day and then reject their big meals. Adding up all the food that they're grazing on will often leave you surprised at how much they're actually consuming in a full day. If you make up a platter at the start of the day and let your toddler come and go as they please so you can see what they're eating over a 24-hour period, can be a huge relief, because when you actually see all of the food that you've prepared in that platter going, it really helps you understand that all those small bits that they're having across the day is actually amounting to quite a bit. But remember, like I said in point 1, there's still going to be fluctuations in how much they have from day to day, week to week. Another key point is to trust your child knows when they're hungry and when they're full. Our job as parents is to offer the healthy and nutritious food. Your toddler's job is to decide how much they want to eat. Remind yourself of this daily. We should not be encouraging our toddlers to have 2 more mouthfuls if they have already had a go at their food, as this is literally teaching them to ignore feelings of fullness. And this can actually lead to overeating in later life, so going into older childhood and as adults. I mean, how guilty are we all of eating too much even though our body is saying that we're full? And so we want to be avoiding this, because this in turn, overeating, can of course lead to issues like being overweight and obesity. So the last area I wanted to cover was fussy eating in your toddler. Now, this topic deserves its own episode, which one day you will have, but for now I just wanted to touch upon it. Almost every child will go through periods of fussiness when it comes to their eating. Max, for example, currently hates mushrooms and can't bear for it to be anywhere near him. Insert eye roll here. But a month ago, he was scoffing mushrooms down in bolognese like there was no tomorrow. I don't know what's changed. I don't know if he saw something on TV or heard something from another child, but he's going through a phase of fussiness with mushrooms. So kids will go through phases where they have likes and dislikes for certain foods. The most important thing to do is to continue offering these foods, even when they don't like them. Still put them on their plate. As soon as you start to remove these foods, suddenly your list of foods to offer becomes seriously limited. It can take a child over 10, up to 15 exposures to a food to accept it. When we make a big deal around them not liking a certain food, it often just exacerbates the problem. Like everything in parenting, you need to be consistent, you need to persist, and don't give up. I'm going to get an expert in fussy eating onto the podcast this year, so make sure you subscribe to this podcast if you don't want to miss that episode. Anyway, I hope that all of this information helps you to understand what to expect with your toddler's eating patterns. I'll be back again next week with a brand new episode, so I'll chat to you then. Thanks for listening to the episode, Mama. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to share the episode with a friend, with your mother's group, or tag me at Jen Butler Early Parenting on Instagram. The more that know about this podcast, the more people I can help. If you're looking for support that is personalised for your babe and tailored to your family's needs, then make sure to head on over to my website, www.jenniferbutler.com.au, and check out how we can work together so you can move through motherhood with confidence. Catch you in the next episode, Mama.